does not cause suffering. Neurotypicals do. We're not allowed to be autistic. Let me put this in perspective for you. Let's say you got an uncle, got both of his legs blown off in the war. Which war? It doesn't matter. My viewers are all sorts of ages, all sorts of countries, primarily the United States, but your uncle ain't got no legs. He's in a wheelchair. That's what he uses for his mobility. He can't get upstairs. The way that you treat autism is the same as telling a man who's had his legs blown off that he's got to, just because it's annoying for him to go upstairs doesn't mean that he doesn't have to still go up those stairs. We expect accommodations to be made for disabled people, right? No. Only if it's a visual disability, something that we can see. We can see that the person has a walker. We can see that they have a wheelchair. We can see that they have no legs. We can see that they have Down syndrome. I know a lot of real nasty people. Autism Speaks is a nasty organization. I get that the only people that Autism Speaks or any of these other places actually care about, like the National Autism Society, all they care about is the parents and what the parents want. Who we are as people doesn't matter to any of them. The autistic community has spoken very loudly about how Maddie Zeigler did. What a horrible thing it was for all of us, for her to have done that. Let's take a look at the people who represent us on television. Sheldon Cooper. His character is designed to be annoying for comic relief. It's not a real autistic person being represented there. Maddie Zeigler did not play an autistic person. She played somebody with severe brain damage. Severe brain damage. Now we've got a mix when people look at what they want to diagnose us with or as, when they diagnose autism. Well, half of the criteria on there should be looked at as gifts, like the ability to hyperfocus. For many of us, the ability to read at 6 years old. Read at a college level at 6 years old. Spell at an 8th grade level at 6 years old. But we've also got stuff mixed in there that is your assumptions. You neurotypicals. And your assumptions and belief that abusing somebody and pretending that they're confused when really you're just confusing the situation. You think that's okay? Of course you do. But it's not okay when people do it back, is it? I had to deal with Natalie was killed. Each one of them not understand the safety risks that they were putting on me by going out of your assumptions. Autism Speaks, one of the most horrendous things that they did in their videos with parents talking about how these parents are overwhelmed with their children, and you see when their children are stimming, it doesn't hurt anyone. It hurts no one at all. And these children aren't attempting to harm anyone. what do the parents do? The same thing that the cops do, the same thing that they do at behavioral health places. Tackle you and fucking drug you. Grab hold of your hands so that you can't stem. Punish you for having Tourette's syndrome or echolalia. Echolalia isn't necessarily the way that it's described either, though. A lot of times when we talk about a movie, we're making a reference. When we say a line and you wonder where it came from, you go, well, that's a strange thing to say. Well, it might be right on topic if you were a little more educated, which many of us are self-educated. That's the hyper-focus thing. We end up knowing more shit about what you pretend to know about than you're capable of understanding in a lifetime, because we are that hyper-focused. The problem is when we're constantly running around like a chicken with our heads cut off, trying to fucking make you happy for services that are costing us more than helping us. Do you really think that anybody in America can live on $800 a month, especially after having their name and their credit completely fucking demolished? All of their money for years and years and years that is supposed to be spent for that disabled person to take care of themselves. But that disabled person can't take care of themselves because you want to capitalize on that person's disabilities and assumptions of those disabilities. And then you use those assumptions to blame the victim. That's right. All autistic people are victims of your inhumanity. Your assumptions. You goddamn right I speak up. There's a church here in town that's going to start feeding people in about an hour. I don't anticipate any major issues. However, it's not an environment where I feel safe. I go up there now because there's people there that I can interact with that are useful or helpful. Oh, also I got a cool tool. I don't have the money for a brand new Dremel or anything like that. But this thing right here was only $3, and it comes with batteries. It's a little engraver. I don't expect it to last long, but at least I have it. At least it's something that I can utilize if I want to try to stem by making something. See, that's one of the things that's horrible about fidget spinners and shit like that. You get nothing done. Get us Legos, for Christ's sake. Oh yeah, Legos are too expensive. People won't buy as many Legos because Legos are getting too expensive. Of course, that makes it so the Legos wants to try to maximize their profit and keep it where it's at, so they gotta increase. And then we've got 400 middlemen, don't we? That's the great American melting pot for you. We get rid of a bunch of $100,000 a year jobs and we replace them with minimum wage McDonald's jobs. And then we want the victims to shut the hell up. We want the people who are doing all of the real work, all of the actual infrastructure work. We want to cut them out of everything and tell them it's their fault, right? We do the same thing with disabled people. You pretend that we can have a normal life. No, you won't allow it. You put too many restrictions on us, and it separates us and socially isolates us from our loved ones. And it's horrible. And then you tell us we wanted it, needed it, chose it, and deserved it because we're not acting like grown-ups. No, you're not acting like grown-ups. That's the problem. Most of our issues are with you not acting like fucking grown-ups. We shouldn't have to act like children for you to try to make a fucking connection with us. We should not have to act up the way that you do in order to get heard. But it's the only thing that any of you listen to. And unfortunately, there are so many of you who cry wolf and play victim that those of us who are actually going through hell are never heard. We will never be human beings to you. Does that sound bug you? There's a movie with Maddie Zeigler in it where she plays a mentally damaged girl who's pretending to be autistic. And it's interesting to me that all of the autistic people who have seen the movie say that obviously it wasn't made for people who are autistic or from the point of view of someone who's autistic. It's not about the autistic girl at all. It's about her sister. Autism does not speak for any of us. They don't care about us. They care about you and keeping your stereotypes and your false beliefs, your sympathy for our predators. And don't get me confused here. These are our predators. Most of our predators are parents who wanted to use our disabilities to gain sympathy. Oh, poor us, our retarded child, and so on and so on. My parents both admitted to me by the time I was 9 years old that it was tough raising a child that was smarter than you are, but neither one of them raised me. I was raised in the system. I got to see them on home visits. That's when they were clean and sober, or if they were able to convince a judge that being able to see their kids would help them to stay clean and sober. Right. I got lots of friends that play that way today. I should get free money because my child is disabled. When your child becomes an adult, they're the ones who have to live with that disability, not you. But all autism cares about is the parents. They want to cure autism. There's no reason to cure autism. There's nothing wrong with us. The fact that they focus on, well, the autistic people who are the most needy, and the rest of us, they pretend don't have any needs. That our disabilities no longer exist because we're able to speak the English language. Ooh. But we're not heard. And that there's the problem. Stereotypes that were dispelled back in the late 80s and early 90s. And the rest of them that were even greater dispelled in the late 90s. And we're still pushing that ancient bullshit on an unsuspecting public and on a population of autistic folks who never stand a chance in your society and never will, as long as you aren't willing to understand them the way that you try to understand somebody who's in a wheelchair or someone who has Down syndrome. And don't tell me not to make the comparison because we're not retarded. Look how Maddie Zeigler presents herself as an autistic person. It's either as an intelligent agitation like Sheldon Cooper, or as, what was it, that quote from the movie Tropical Thunder? You never go full retard. That was the quote. Ben Stiller movie, I believe, right? Yeah. We're not retarded, Maddie Zeigler. And that squeaky, annoying voice and apparent mental retardation of Sheldon Cooper, that's a good representation of autism based on your assumptions. It's kind of like your assumptions of Tourette syndrome from the movies. I have actual Tourette syndrome, not movie Tourette syndrome. I have actual Asperger's, not movie Asperger's. Some people call us Aussies. Some people call us Aspies. We're neurodivergent. You don't stop to try to understand us at all, but we have to spend our entire lives trying to appease you neurotypicals who tell us we're wrong no matter what we do. It's wrong to help others, but it's not wrong to help you, correct? Let's see if I can find my keys and start my car and get going to somewhere else. I don't know where to, but I do know that I gotta make sure my stuff doesn't die. I'm gonna have to find a camping spot, but the running around in town for fucking services, trying to conserve gas and being close enough for services, trying not to get caught at a camping spot all alone. This is all important shit to think about and worry about, especially during a tourist weekend. Thank goodness it's not a tourist weekend. However, it's the week after Labor Day. There's lots of people who took this off as a vacation. I'm actually going to end this video because my phone's overheating. Adios, muchachos.